Welcome. It is June 7th, first Emerald and Below call of the month. And today we are going to be chatting about something that I was surprised. I thought there was going to be a lot more people on, but about the whole hearing no and why you might not be hitting Success Club. We're going to go over a bunch of different things. And then you guys can ask questions and then I'll let you go. So it's a new month. So we obviously have a bunch of new announcements, lots of fun stuff. So let's get into it. Number one, if you've been living under a rock and you haven't heard that Beachbody is coming to the UK in the fall, get excited. Be prepared, but do not over-focus on it. It is not happening until the fall. It's probably going to be September, later September. So don't start doing too much with it. But there is things that you can do. You can create a Google form. If you go in my link tree on my Instagram, if you don't know what link tree is, you gotta check it out because it's amazing. Instead of only being able to put one link in your Instagram bio, it lets you put like a link that someone can click, and it has like a bunch of links you can put. So it's awesome. So check out Linktree. You can check my UK form in there if you want to just copy and paste what my questions are, or you can make your own, whatever you want. But having a form that's always in your bio that you can occasionally, like I said, occasionally mention on social media, where you can be like, hey, by the way, don't forget UK peeps, we're coming to you in the fall, blah, blah, and it's always there. You don't have to like rechange your forms all the time or your links. So you can start liking some UK hashtags. If you have an Instagram and you want to grow your Instagram and you are not liking 200 to 500 pictures a day, you're not going to grow your Instagram. Now, before we were able to use Instagress, but Instagress doesn't work anymore. And even if you're using another bot, it can shadow ban you. And shadow bans just means that no one can see your stuff but you and your followers. So don't get shadow banned. Don't use bots. We have to do it the old-fashioned way. It's just how it works. So you should be liking a bunch of pictures. So I've added to my daily to-do list to like some UK hashtags. So like UK FitFam, UK whatever, like PCOS, like I do PCOS UK hashtags, like it's specific to you. If you're like, I've done dog mummy, like MUM, so things like that, because you're going to attract those people who are using the hashtags. You can use them on your pictures too. And you want to start just generating some like interactions between them. I've even joined some UK Facebook groups, some paleo UK Facebook groups. Nobody's like not let me in and said, hey, you're not from the UK. I guess they really don't check it. But I've done that and I add friends every day. I add like 5 UK people just so I have friends. So they're going to see my stuff. You know what I mean? There's 2 new challenge packs available. The All Access and Performance Challenge Pack, which is the same price with Shakeology, and you get somebody can get the All Access Pass, the Portion Fix, and Energize and Recover. They're not going to get Shakeology, but they're going to get both of these for $160. That's awesome. If you have a lot of guys or people who don't want to try Shakeology, let them know about this. Don't get lazy and not talk about it. You have to talk about it. And we also now have Forever and Always. Now this price, this $160, $186, is only through August 1st. After that, the price goes up to $199. But this is going to stay the same. This is the Shakeology and Portion Fix Challenge Pack. So these are for your people who bought Beachbody on Demand. Wait, let me check my battery really quick. Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I've had like 3 calls on here and I wanted to make sure that it didn't die. But so people who bought just the $99, All Access Pass, and they're like, wait, now I want to get Shakeology. They can get Shakeology and the Portion Fix for $130, which is the same price. Portion Fix by itself is like $35. So they're saving the $35 by doing that. So that's huge. And the FAQ is 4303 if you want to check out more information on it. Okay, 3, Summit is next month. Holy crap. I'm going to be creating a Summit Facebook group soon. I know I said it last month, but I was just like, there's no need for me to create it in May. It was just like so silly. So you probably when I get back from Firefly on the 19th, I'll have that ready because then it'll be about a week until we go. So make sure you start prepping. Make sure you plan to hit Success Club before Summit happens. Even if you're not going, just do it with us as a team. I am making sure that I hit my goals before I leave for Summit. Because Summit's crazy. It's going to be almost impossible to do any work. Like I always try to do some work on vacation, but at Summit, it's not possible, like 0 possibility. And if you aren't coming, remember to save up to buy your ticket at a discounted price. When we are at Summit, the Sunday we are at Summit, they usually release like $145 tickets when they're usually like 175 or like 200 or whatever the price is. No, I think it's 125, something along those lines. But save up. I mean, I've been talking about this in every team call, but you want to make sure you're saving up. So when that ticket comes, you're like, oh, I don't have enough money. Start saving up. Number 4, Sean Week is next week, June 12th to the 18th. I am running a clean eating group / Sean Week in the My Challenge Tracker app. So for newer coaches, you're more than welcome to be a part of mine. If you're not one of my PS coaches, if one of my coaches signed you up, join their group. They'll probably have one going on. And if they don't, then you can message me. But message them first to check in with them because I just don't want my group to be like 100 people in it. So make sure you get your group's ready, send out your invites, post about it. I mean, you should have been doing this already, but if you haven't, make sure you do it. I made a post in the team page that I shared my graphic, I shared my Google form, I shared a sample invite. There's no excuse for you not to get out there and do it. I give you everything you need, guys. Go out and use it. Okay. Number 5, Beachbody summer sale is going on. In case you didn't see me post about that on Monday, I think. It's a summer sale. There's a bajillion things. Why can't I move this? This is annoying. Can I exit out of this or will this exit me? Okay, no, that was going to do that. There's like a little bar down here. I don't know if you guys can see it. But anyway, but the summer sale is going on. There's up to 78% off. I got a pair of wrist weights and ankle weights for $5 a piece. Those things are like $25 at Target. They have like this little thing in the summer sale where they're like 10 things are like $5 and like 10 things are $10. You can get whole programs. Now I know we have the all access pass, but you could get something like Insanity Asylum with the ladder and like all those things in there. You could do it as a giveaway for somebody who maybe doesn't want to do Beachbody On Demand, and you could just give it to them, you know. But there's lots of stuff in there, and tell your coaches about it. I know a lot of you guys are newer because this is a new coach to Emerald Club, but if you have anybody you know, anybody in your team or people that you know, I mean, you can even go up to people who you've already sold a challenge pack to and let them know about this so then it can just generate some volume. If you want to get to it, you can't see this at the bottom, or maybe you can. I just see this thing right here. But to get to it, just go to teambeachbody.com. On the right-hand side, it'll say shop, hover over shop, and then click summer sale. And then it'll show you all the things. The only thing about the summer sale is that it's a first come, first serve. So all the really awesome things, if they're not gone already, they will be soon. So make sure you get on top of it and get it now. Because number 1, you can get stuff for yourself. And 2, you can do this as giveaways. I love using summer sale to buy a bunch of stuff for giveaways. There's resistance bands. There's an ankle thing with a door attachment. I got one of those. There's like squishy balls. There's a yoga mat. There's so many things that you can get for yourself and you can do as giveaways. Okay. Last announcement, Shift Shop sneak peek is June 19th, guys. That is 2 Mondays from now. So not next week, the week after that, we all get a Beachbody On Demand Shift Shop preview. I am beyond excited for this. I'm dying for the program anyway, but so excited that we're going to be able to do a sneak peek. Do not miss out on this. So a lot of you guys are doing a workout program. Plan to do this workout. Or if you want to double up your workout, go ahead. But plan on doing this workout. You have to do it. It's so important to be a part of these things because it generates excitement. Everyone else is doing it. You want to make sure that you're a part of it too. Do the workout, record yourself, go live, you know, go Instagram live. The only thing about going Facebook live in with a workout is if you can hear the voices in the background, technically it's copyright because it's a copyrighted video. So you can't do it for more than like 5 minutes. That's just like a secret rule if you didn't know about that. And then tell all your Sean Week people about it. So if you get people into Sean Week, they're going to get the 14-day Beachbody On Demand trial. So let them know, hey, not only are you going to be able to do Sean Week for free, but you're going to be able to do a sneak peek of our brand new program that's coming out. Like, that's freaking awesome. So let them know about that. If you have a group, post about it. You know what I mean? Even though Sean Week ends on the 18th, let them know about that. Okay, so weekly challenge. I want you to reach out and send a follow-up invite to everyone that has told you no in the past few months and invite them to try Sean Week for free. They can do Sean Week for free. They can get the 14-day trial. If they told you no, if they've, you know, maybe been in a clean eating group and they didn't do a challenge group, let them know about Sean Week. So many people know who Sean T is. So use that to your advantage. Please use that to your advantage. It's really, really awesome. Okay. Moving on. So let's talk about why you're hearing no and why you're not hitting Success Club. There are lots of reasons why, and everyone has their reasons why, but something that I talked about in my meditations and affirmations group today was that so many people, depending on what it is, whether it's, you know, fitness or it's, you know, getting a more positive mindset or whatever you're aiming for, so many people haven't realized how strong their ego is. And like, I have a girl in my meditations affirmations group who is like, I want to do affirmations, but I don't have time. So I'm like, okay, well, what's your schedule like? So I'm like, I'm talking to her, and constantly I keep giving her like, well, what about this? And she's like, well, no, that won't work because of this. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Well, what about this? And she's like, no, that still won't work because of this. Like, literally it was going on back and forth. And I could see her ego. It's not that she doesn't have time. There's always a way. And like, finally I gave her something that she was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Which that answer was always there. But some people's egos are so in the way that there's solutions right in front of you, and there's things that you know you need to be doing to, you know, hit Success Club, but you keep letting your ego get in the way of I don't have time, or I'm making sure I'm spending time with my family. Now, don't think I'm knocking spending time with your family, but people sometimes are using that too much. And it's like, just because you're sitting on the couch with your family, but you're scrolling, you know, Instagram on your phone, that's not you spending quality time. If that's what you're going to argue, you need to be physically spending quality time with them. And then what you can do is spend 2 hours with them and then stay up an hour or two later to get your Beachbody business done, because that Beachbody business is for them. The reason you're doing what you're doing is for your kids, is for your family, or for your significant other. For me, it's for my boyfriend. I'm for Ned. You know what I mean? So don't let your ego get in the way and keep telling you these things and these excuses. I have vacation, I have this, I have that. Most of the time, it is your ego getting in the way. And now I know there are exceptions to the rule, but this is for the most of the time. There's the ego getting in the way. That's the fear or whatever. And you got to work to get past the ego. I highly suggest Spirit Junkie. I'm reading that right now, and it's all about that. Four Agreements is also really good about that as well. Okay. So what we're going to talk about, number one, first things first, get over it. And you'll see what I'm going to talk about in the next slide. Number two, reasons you're hearing no. 3, reasons you're not hitting Success Club. And 4, how to avoid word vomit. Okay. Number one thing you need to understand, tough love, Alexa's coming out. Hearing no is a part of the business. And until you are able to get past that and over it, it will always hold you back. You have to work on your personal development. There's a book, I forget who the author is, but it's called Fear of Rejection. You can just go look it up. If you're afraid of hearing no, Go for No is another good one. But hearing, a lot of you guys are like, I keep hearing no, everyone's telling me no, but you're afraid of hearing no, so you don't talk to enough people. So you're hearing no from like 3 people. I hear no 100 times a day. But the yeses are so worth hearing the no's, and a lot of new coaches don't get that yet, which is okay, but you just have to keep working to get past that point. If you're constantly letting the fear of hearing no get in your way, I'm sorry, but you will stay plateaued at a certain point in your business. You could even stay plateaued at diamond if you get to that, point of hearing no. There's tons of diamonds that aren't moving forward because they're letting, those fears get in the way. So you got to work on that. Okay, reasons you are hearing no. We're going to go through them one by one. And if you have any questions, I will totally answer them at the end. I just kind of want to get through everything, and then I'll answer any questions that you have. So reasons you're hearing no, word vomiting being number 1. I'm not even going to get into that because I have a whole slide for that. But word vomiting is a lot of the times, the reason why you're hearing no is because someone says they're interested and you send them 10 pages on Shakeology, 10 pages on All Access Pass, a bunch of things on a challenge group and this and that and stuff that they didn't even ask for yet. So word vomiting is probably one of the number 1 causes of why a new coach is hearing no. But we're going to get into that. So number 2, not having juicy enough explanations. And what I mean by that is you have a challenge group and, maybe you've been in one, maybe you've been in mine, and you work on health and fitness and personal development, or it could boil down to your challenge groups might not be that great, but that's something you work on. But explaining what you're offering has to be something that's going to draw them in. You have to reel them in like a fish. And you're not tricking them. It's awesome. You just have to let them know that. But when someone asks you what a challenge group is, you can't just say, you're going to get a workout program and Shakeology, and you're going to get lots of accountability, and we have daily tasks, and it's just going to be really great. I'm not really that interested in that. Like, the thing about it is maybe 4 years ago that would have worked because nobody really heard about these things. But as we progress in our business, things change. things that worked 3-4 years ago don't work now. And for newer coaches, you might be like, oh, I wish I, signed up 3 years ago and I could have been doing all of these things. Well, for us coaches, we have to change things as well. So it affects everyone. And that doesn't mean that you can't be successful. You just have to be smart, and you have to change things up. So for me, when I tell someone about my challenge group, I let them know, there's 4 weeks. We have 1 week of prep where you're going to get a video every day, and it's going to share, and if you don't have this stuff, your upline probably does. And you can always reuse your upline stuff until you are ready to use it. But you use them as a crutch in the sense of what they have to offer, because you might not be ready to record videos and do all of this stuff yet, but use what they have to offer. Do not feel you have to reinvent the wheel. That's another thing new coaches do, is they always feel that they have to create all this new content. Don't worry about doing that yet. Until you've hit Success Club and you start doing those things, then you can create content. But for right now, you need to focus on hitting the little things before you get there. So for me, I'm like, we have prep week. You're going to get a video every day that's going to teach you, how to eat clean on the road, how to deal with stress, sleep, all of that stuff. And then once we get into the group, we work on health and fitness. We have weekly themes, so you don't get bored with just like a post every day. You're going to learn about, food and fitness in the first week. You're going to learn all about personal development and mindset in the second week. And then in the last week, I pair everybody up in trios to tag each other in the post to make sure you get stuff done to keep that accountability going. I know I've always struggled with, or I used to struggle so much in the past with my confidence. So working on personal development is just so key in this group. And I really, just love that we really work on a positive mindset. And the other thing about accountability is that, the number one reason people fail at doing a workout program or a new nutrition guide is because they do it alone. And with this group, you're never going to be alone. You're going to get tons of motivation. You're going to want to work out. You're going to, even on the bad days, we're going to be there to pick you up, blah, 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 blah. So as you see, that's so much juicier than the first explanation. So you have to work on retyping, sitting down, and making it sound really kick-ass so people want to say yes. Because I always finish with, does that sound like something you're interested in? And they're always like, oh my God, yes. And then I go into the cost and everything. Okay, next reason. You're not being consistent in your own journey. This is like one of those hidden reasons. I have some coaches on the team, and maybe you may realize that you might be one of the people that do this. I'm not talking about like somebody like super specific. I'm just talking about in general. But I have coaches on the team. I know that say they're doing everything. They're like, I'm inviting, I'm having conversations, I'm doing all of this stuff, and I see that they are. But then I look at their social media and they don't even post. How in the world can you expect someone to buy something from you or say yes to working with you if you are not sharing your journey? It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. So you have to make sure that you're being consistent in your own journey, not perfect, but consistent. So, and not just sharing health and fitness, but just sharing you and sharing your story. People are going to connect with that. So you have to make sure you're being consistent in your own journey before you can ever expect anyone to buy something from you. That's like someone telling you to go to a restaurant and being like, dude, this restaurant's so good. The food is so good. Oh my gosh, like you're going to love it. And then be like, oh, well, what did you think when you went to it? It's like, well, okay, well, I've never been there. You know what I mean? Like, no, people aren't going to go for that. Next one, not sharing enough and being a cookie cutter beach body coach. You have to make sure that you are sharing your story. You want to make people feel like, I get messages all the time, and I'm not saying this to brag, but to show you that you want to get to the point where people can message you and say things like, like a girl just messaged me today right before I got on this call and was like, you are so positive. Like, I feel like I'm in such a rut. Like I want to have that energy. I want to be that positive. So you have to share those things, that make people want to work with you. And in terms of being a cookie cutter beach body coach, that means only sharing fitness, only sharing your food, and sharing like a picture of Shakeology. No, when you, and I know everybody's done this, so I'm not making fun of anybody, calling anybody out, because we've all done it, but nobody wants to see your shaker cup. Everybody, like people know the shaker cup. That is nothing. That gives no value. That doesn't explain to someone what Shakeology is. But you saying, this is my favorite thing. Like you have to, post a picture of your favorite superfood, or post a more, like, I don't know, you balancing on your head in like a yoga pose. I don't know, something that's more than just the shaker cup. Because people are going to scroll right past that. People have seen the shaker cup 1,000 times. And you always want to try to share value in your posts. So instead of, I always use this example, but, when a while ago, I got a bag of sprouted watermelon seeds. I've never even heard of them before, but they were really good. And I was going to just share a picture of it. But instead of just sharing the picture, I was like, I wonder if there's benefits of eating sprouted watermelon seeds. So I Googled it, and I was like, benefits of sprouted watermelon seeds. You know it, there's a bunch of benefits. So it was like vitamin K and like this and that, lots of fiber. So in my post, I was like, these are so good. Did you know there are lots of benefits for eating watermelon seeds? And I was like, here are the 5 benefits. And I am a person that is not just being a cookie cutter Beachbody coach. I'm actually giving value. So you have to make sure that you're doing that. And the reason why this ties into you hearing no is because if you're just posting the same old stuff just to do it because that's what you've been told, when you go to invite, somebody's just really not going to have a desire to work with you. And it's not about you being some perfect like size 0 person. It's just about, do you give them value or not? Okay. Rushing the invite. This is another thing that a lot of coaches do. They build a relationship for like 2 days and then they're like, hey, do you want to join this? That's why I always talk about inviting to a clean eating group first, but still you need to build that relationship. Not for 20 months, but at least for 2 to 3 weeks before you invite someone. Especially if you're going to invite them to like just straight to a challenge group. I do suggest inviting to a clean eating group first, but if you're going to invite to a challenge group, you have to spend a little bit more time, just getting to know them and whatnot, and then not waiting for the right time. It's just about sending them the invite out of nowhere. If you build a relationship, it's just like, hey, by the way, I meant to mention, or hey, by the way, I don't know if you'd be interested in this. That doesn't need a in to message that. You're just sending it. Okay. Not being consistent with your own Beachbody workout and not being consistent with your own Beachbody work. So we already covered not being consistent in your own journey. With your Beachbody work, taking too long to respond. So what that means is you work your business like one day and then life happens and you just watch Netflix one day and then you make excuses of why you can't do your business. And then it's Friday and you haven't even really done anything. And then people have messaged you and you've taken so long to respond. Now, I don't mean you talk to somebody in the morning and you didn't get to message them till tonight. That's okay. That's normal. That's totally fine. Sometimes I don't message someone till the next day. But usually everyone should be hearing from you at least 1 to 2 days, no longer than that if you are actively trying to do that. So if you're taking too long to respond and then you're wondering why people aren't saying yes to you, it's because it's like the impulse buy. When you want to buy something and you see something, you're just like, oh, I'm just going to buy it. If you're talking to somebody, but then you go 10 days without talking to them, they're going to lose that desire to say yes. Okay. Just a few more reasons why you're hearing no. You're not working through the objections and you're giving up. This is a big one, guys. You are going to hear objections almost every time you message someone. You guys hear objections and you're like, oh, I just think Alexis is just getting yeses out of all the time. Every time I've ever invited someone, maybe like 5 times in the past 4.5 years, has anyone ever just been like, yeah, sign me up. I'm not going to ask any questions. Just sign me up. It doesn't happen. You're constantly going to get objections, but that's a part of the business. And if you can't dealing with those objections, and it doesn't mean you have to be a salesperson. I wasn't a salesperson when I started this, and I still don't feel like I am, but I've gotten better at working through objections. And you'll get better as you go, but you have to practice on how to respond to them. There's tons of stuff probably in the Files tab of the team page about how to deal with objections. Maybe you can message your coach about how do you deal with this objection, or screenshot the conversation and message your coach, message me if I'm your coach, and say, hey, how have you dealt with this objection? And we will help you through it. So then you only have to hear it once and then you'll get better at responding. And I suggest responding to objections. The best way to respond to objections is saying, I totally understand. This is how I dealt with that objection. Now, if you didn't deal with that objection, then you can go from there. But for the most part, you're best going to get through to someone if you say, this is how I dealt with it. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Sorry, Ned is snoring so loud right now. Next thing, not talking to enough people to hone in on your conversational and sales skills. In the next slide, we're going to talk about the whole not talking to enough people. But so many of you are like, oh, Alexis, like when I do power hours, and like, you're so good at just thinking of things on the spot, or you just respond so well to those conversations. I was not doing that as a new coach. And it wasn't because I never was going to develop the skill, which a lot of you guys think that you're in the position where you're never going to be that good. That's not the case. You have to just talk to more people and have more conversations. If you're talking to 3 people a week or 5 people a week, you're not going to be it's like wanting to become an Olympic swimmer and swimming 2 times a week. You're just not going to be good enough. It's all it is just practice. This business, I always say, isn't easy, but it's simple. So developing your conversational skills just takes just having more conversations. You get better at responding. You know what to say in better ways. And my things are constantly changing each week and each month. So you'll get better at it. And this next point goes with the last one, not reading personal development specific to this issue. So the fear of no, or getting better at sales. So a book that you can do if you feel like you're just like, I'm the worst salesperson ever. I hate using that word, but salesperson. The book, Why She Buys. I haven't read it yet, but Anna and a bunch of my other coaches have read it and they said it's amazing. They've shared some screenshots of it and it just seems like absolutely awesome. I can't wait to buy it, but it seems like a really good book for new coaches who want to do it. That's what Anna said. That's helped her a lot. So I suggest grabbing a book like that. And you should always be reading a personal development book. So a mindset book, like You Are a Badass, The Universe Has Your Back, Mastering Your Mean Girl. And then also reading some kind of business development book, especially if you came into this business saying, I want to make it work, but I'm not a business person. I'm not a salesperson. Then you need to work on that. That's like wanting to be a math teacher and saying, I don't really think I'm going to go to school for it. Like, you have to be active in your journey. This business is not about sitting back and hoping things happen. You have to be active in your journey. Expecting yes all the time. I heard this from a coach the other day on a one-on-one, and she was like, I feel like I'm expecting people to say yes. I've heard it a bunch of times before, but she's like, I feel like or in the past, I've expected people to say yes, and I get frustrated when they don't say yes. So if you're expecting people to just say yes to you, think back to, did you say yes right away? And I know there's some coaches that have. I was one of those people that said yes pretty much right away. But most people, 85% of people, probably 90% of people who join Beachbody say no to their coach 10 times before they decide to say yes. So many people, and so many of you, maybe even on this call, told your coach no a bunch of times. But you have to remember, it's all in the follow-up. He is snoring so loud. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Ned, stop snoring loud. But that's like totally distracted me. But you can't expect people to say yes. You have to give them time. And you have to understand, on one hand, the money objections and the other objections not always are the truth, because somebody tells me they have a money objection and the next day I see them with a $300 tattoo or a $200 pair of Nikes. But other times the objections are real, or they just have fear. A lot of it just boils down to fear. It may be a money thing, but it's the fear of investing the money. It may be a time commitment thing, but it may be a fear in investing the time. So you have to respect people and know that and let them know, hey, I'm going to be here for you until you're ready. Can I just check it up in? Can I just check or keep you in the loop of the groups that are going on in the future? Yes? Okay, good. You check in with them once a month and go from there. And last thing is only talking to your warm market. I know a lot of coaches that are just like, I'm just going to invite my friends, or I'm just going to talk to people on my friends list. You have to stop doing that, guys. You have to. One, your warm market is going to dry out, and you're going to have to basically start from zero, because you're going to dry out all your friends, which is fine. Everybody gets to that point. I've gotten to that point. But I've added new people to my contact list from new Facebook groups and new Instagrams, because I'm constantly adding to my cold market and adding to that funnel. You have to be adding to the funnel. And honestly, I don't know why. And for some people, they haven't realized this yet. But I have no coach I know that invites all of their friends and gets the yeses. Almost everyone. Now, there are some people that are like that. I have a few. But most of my coaches that invite all of their friends constantly tell me that their friends ghost them, that they message them and then they don't talk to them anymore. For some reason, I get that so much more when I talk to people I know than when I talk to people I don't know. I don't know why. It just seems to be the way it is. So if you're only talking to your warm market and wondering why you're hearing no, that might be a part of it. Okay, so reasons you aren't hitting Success Club. So guess what, guys? These go hand in hand with the reasons you're hearing no. So some of these may kind of be repeats. They're gonna go hand in hand, because in order to hit Success Club, you have to hear yes. So if you're hearing no, you're not hitting Success Club. Number one, you are not talking to enough people. They talked about this in the National Wake Up Call this week. Most of you are just not talking to enough people. Minimum, like hands down, minimum, you have to be adding and talking to 10 new people every week. You can do more than that, but that's minimum. I'm suggesting you do 20 to 30, maybe not that much, but minimum 10, because in the book Go for No, for every 10 people you talk to, you're going to hear 9 no's, you're going to get 1 yes. It's just the way sales work. So if you talk to 10 people a week in a month, that gives you 40 new people. And if you want to hit Success Club, you need to help 3 people. So that's 30 people. Every 10 no's you're going to hear, or every 10 no's you're going to hear 1 yes or whatever. So you have to talk to more people. And if you're not building your contact list every week, that's part of the reason why you're not hearing yes, which I think is one of the things on here. Number 2, these are definitely number 1 and number 2, hardcore. You're not following up. You're like, Alexa, I followed your process. I put them on my contact list. I built a relationship with them. I invited them to a clean eating group. They joined it. And then once I talked to them about a challenge group, they said no, or they gave me a money objection. Or they said this. And I'm like, did you follow up with them? And they're like, no. Well, they said no. The sale is in the follow-up. Again, I hate saying sale, but it is. It takes a person between the 5th and 12th time to say yes from seeing something. How many times do you see a commercial or an ad on the side of your Facebook or something in your Facebook newsfeed or an Instagram or something? You see it a bunch of times, but you never say yes because you're just like, I don't know. It's just the way it works. So you have to remember that people are like that. Like if there's a pair of shoes you want or like a thing you've been wanting to buy, but you keep saying no, and then eventually you see it and you're like, okay, I'm ready. That's how the follow-up works. You have to follow up with people. And if you're like, well, I don't want to bug them, it's not about bugging them. And the thing you can do to avoid feeling that way is when someone says no, like figure out their objection, work through their objection first before you just go to like, oh, I'm scared, I'll check in with you next month. You have to ask, talk through the objection, but then say, totally understand. Is it okay if I keep you in the loop and just let you know each month what I have going on? And if someone says yes, that is your in to follow up with them once a month, every month until they say yes. Or they say stop messaging me, which never happens. Or they say no thank you, and then you take them off your contact list and you don't have to worry about messaging them ever again. And it's one less person that you know isn't interested. How awesome is that? And sometimes those people still come around. What else? I was going to say something. And the other thing you can do that not enough you guys are using, if you're a newer coach, you might not know about this, but we have a group called Stay Confident. It is our Facebook community. It doesn't have a lot of interaction. It sometimes does, sometimes doesn't, but it's just because there needs to be more people in it. But it's like an ongoing community where we share meditations, food recipes, workouts. We sometimes go Facebook Live. We do all that stuff in there. And it's a free group that's ongoing. It's not like a 5-day free group. It's just like a free community, like Facebook page where I add people who say no. So when someone says no, I say, hey, totally understand. Why don't you try saving like $5 to $10 every week? And then eventually you'll get to the point where you can save up. And they're like, totally cool. And in the meantime, I actually have a Facebook group that's free. It's ongoing. It's going to still give you somewhat of accountability and support. Not as much as the main group, but still going to give you something. And it's going to give you lots of recipe ideas and whatnot. Would you like me to add you to it? And almost every time people are like, well, yeah, I'd love to be a part of something like that. So use that to your advantage as well. Okay, letting fear drive the bus. So much fear we have as new coaches, right? We have a fear of people telling us no, of being rejected, of posting something and someone making fun of us. And we care what our friends think, and we care what our parents think, and we care what our family thinks, and we care what our Uncle Joe, who never has done anything exciting in his life and tries to make fun of anybody else that does. And it's different. But you can't let fear drive the bus. It's going to drive you crazy if you never work on that fear. So again, personal development is key. But a lot of times you aren't hitting Success Club and you're hearing no because you're letting fear get in the way. So whatever you have a fear about, you need to work through it. If you have a fear of inviting, you need to just make a list of 20 people, 10, 20 people, copy an invite, like an invite to a cleaning group or invite to Shom Week. Copy and paste it and hit send it to everybody, and then run away, close your computer, close your phone, and don't look at it for an hour. It's like immersion therapy. You just have to put yourself into it, and then eventually you'll get past it. It wasn't like any of the top coaches didn't have fear when they first started. We all had fear. We still have fear. But we refuse to let the fear of certain things stop us from changing somebody's life. You have to remember that's why you're here, guys. You are here to possibly change someone's life. And you have to remember, has your life been changed in any way? Whether it's financially, mentally, physically, maybe you just have accountability. Maybe you just have a group of people that are positive in your life. For me, that was the biggest thing. I didn't have positive people in my life, and this business was that for me. So you have the opportunity, and fear is selfish. I know it's hard to think of it that way, but it's selfish because you are keeping something to yourself that could change someone's life. So you have to remember that. I don't know how many more of these. There may be a few more. Number 4, not giving it enough time and not being patient. If you're not hitting Success Club yet, if you're not doing the behaviors, then you know what you need to do. But if you're like, okay, Alexis, I'm pretty much doing all the things you say, I might need to work on a few, but I still feel like I'm not hitting Success Club. You may have to tweak some things, maybe tweak your conversations. If you feel like you're doing everything and you're still not hitting Success Club, message your coach like 5 conversation screenshots so we can help you with them. But sometimes it's just about being patient. This business, if you haven't read The Compound Effect, you need to. It'll help you understand about being patient and understanding that this business is a late gratification business. It is a business that feels like nothing's going on and then it happens. It's like a snowball effect. So for the first 3 months, sometimes nothing goes on. 3, 4, 5 months. But you have to be consistent. You can't just be like 5 months pass and I haven't done anything with Beachbody, but you literally haven't done any work. But if you're being consistent every day with your post and sharing and inviting and adding new people, more than 5 people, it will be a snowball effect. All the work that you're doing right now in June is going to pay off in August and September. All the work you do in August is going to pay off in November. That's just the way the business works. But that's why if you take a break and you leave the business and you do whatever, and then you try to come back in, you have to build up momentum again. So it's key to be consistent with it. Number 5, not building a contact list every week. I talk about this constantly, but I feel like I have to talk about it all the time. You have to build your contact list every week. I have a video in the Files tab of the team page. It's called An Easy Way to Find Instagram Contacts. If you just do that process and start with that and do 10 to 30 people each week, everything else will stem from there. You'll have new people to invite. You'll have people to have conversations with. You'll have objections to deal with, conversations to be had, and you will get better at everything. But if you don't start with that contact list, nothing will happen. And I can keep saying it and you can keep avoiding it, but until you do it, it's not going to happen. Okay, last point I want to get into is how to avoid word vomit. I think I might lose my voice. I've talked so much today. Okay, so how to avoid word vomit. Number 1, always mention, and I actually created a really cute graphic for my team or my New Coach University peeps. So that's going to be being shared on either tomorrow or sometime this week. So you're going to get a cute little graphic that has all of this stuff, but it's going to be like something you can save and go back to. Okay, so number 1, always mention the best way to help them. Oh wait, before I go into that, sorry, one more point. So getting into these points, it's going to start with once someone, maybe you message someone and you say, hey, would you be interested in this? Or maybe someone messaged you and says, hey, I saw you post about a clean eating group or a challenge group. Can I join? Or this is more so for challenge group. And then, or maybe someone just messages you and said, hey, I saw that you're into health and fitness. Can you help me? So this is going from that point. So it's once someone expresses interest. So number 1, always mention the best way to help them is for them to join your challenge group. Do not talk about products or anything else yet. So when a thing that coaches do when they word vomit is someone says, hey, I'm interested, or you invite someone and they says, yeah, I'd love to join your group. And you're like, okay, here's everything about Shakeology. And then you get the all access pass, and then there's portion fix, and there's little containers. And then you should totally do 21-day fix because the workout's really, really fun. Or you could do size. That's really fun too. And then if you want to join our team, you can join our team. Like whoa. Don't give them anything. And a lot of coaches too always ask, well, when someone says how, like they want me to help them, like what do I talk about first? Do I talk about Shakeology? Do I talk about the all access pass? You don't talk about anything. You say, I'd love to help you, but the best way for me to help you is for you to be a part one of my monthly challenge groups. I work best with people in a group versus one-on-one, and it's even better because we do it as a team. We have accountability, and it's really, really fun. So you don't talk about anything yet. The next thing you do is ask them before you get into the details. So you say, before I get into the details, tell me more about you, what you struggle with, what your goals are, and what you currently do for fitness and nutrition. Because you want to know all of these things. So when you talk about the challenge group, you can pick on their pain points. And I'm going to talk about that next. But you have to ask that first. And then this helps guide your conversation. So you're nervous and you don't know what to say. If you follow this and you first say, before I get into the details, and you let them talk, they're going to say something that's going to trigger something in your mind. If they say, I don't have time to make breakfast in the morning, Shakeology, you know what I mean? It's going to be like, Shakeology is perfect for if you need to have a quick breakfast. I don't have time to work out. 22-minute hardcore and T25, you know what I mean? So that brings us to the next point. So you want to respond to what they said, give an explanation Oh, that, I guess that's the next point after this. But so you want to respond to what they said. So if they say, I struggle with, this, or I hate myself, or I have no self-confidence, you say, I totally understand. I felt that way before. We really work on that in the groups. You respond to their pain points. So you give an explanation of your challenge group. So what we talked about in the beginning, give them a juicy explanation and then ask them if that sounds like something they would be interested in. Because then they're going to say yes. Because then you don't want to just say, give them the challenge group and then say, okay, here's what you get. So you just to ask a question and just to cut off the message so you're not sending a 20-page long message, say, does that sound like something you'd be interested in? This is the point where most word vomit happens. Like I said, this is where people just go into Shakeology and this and that and this and that. So if you just start with asking questions and then start giving them everything piece by piece. So moving on. Give them info one by one based off what they were struggling with. So examples. 1, oh, I don't have any time to work out, because again, this is why we asked what they're struggling with. I have no time to work out. You can say, oh, well, that's perfect. We have a workout that's 25 minutes or 22 minutes. Everybody has time for that. 2, you don't have to drive to the gym. You don't have to do all of that stuff. You can talk about that too. So need a quick, healthy breakfast? Shakeology. Lack energy? Shakeology. These are just some things. If they say they're losing their hair, they, need more vitamins, they hate veggies, whatever it is. They don't have motivation. The group for accountability. This is perfect for people who don't have motivation. You're going to be able to check in every day. And I'm going to be able to check in to make sure that you're on top of your stuff. So, then you kind of go from there. So then the next thing you do is you can ask them, because you gave them an idea, you mentioned in your challenge group explanation that they're going to get Shakeology in a workout program. So then you can ask them, okay, well, what do you know about Shakeology? So then you can give them your little spiel on it, because you should have a little spiel of this is what is Shakeology. If you don't have a what is Shakeology little spiel that you copy and paste and send, you need to go after this call and make one right now. Okay, so ask them what they know about Shakeology, because a lot of times they might say they're not interested, and it might be because of Shakeology, and you may never ask, and then they might never say it. So I ask them, what do they know about Shakeology? Because a lot of times people will be like, oh yeah, it's like Slim Fast, and I'm like, no. So you have to ask that question, and then ask, what do they like to do when they work out, and what do they not like to do? Because this is important. While they're most likely going to get the all access pass because it just makes sense, you still want to help them pick a program. So once they tell you, let them know what programs sound best for them. Still let them know about the all access pass. They get it. I always tell people, you're probably going to be best with Body Beast, or you're going to be probably best with Pio, but get the all access pass. So number 1, you'll have access to everything. And 2, if you end up doing the workout and you don't like it, you can move to something else for free and you don't have to buy anything. So just make sure you know what the programs, your programs. So when someone says that they like to dance, you should know what the dance workout programs are. Country Heat, Hip Hop Abs, Size, UV2, whatever. I don't know if there's any other ones besides that. I think there's Booty Ballet or something. I don't know if that's a dancing one. If they say they want to gain muscle, they like lifting, Hammer and Chisel, P90X, Body Beast, those things. If they say that they like yoga, Pio, 3-week yoga retreat. Those things just come off the top of my head. I don't have to think about it. You may be a new coach and you might not know that. If you go in the back office, so your teambeachbody.com account, go to Coach Online Office. In the back, there will be, I think it's under my business. It'll say product toolkits, or there's something under there that says product toolkits. You'll be able to find it. Just scan over each one and something will say product toolkits. And it literally gives you an explanation and talking points for every single workout program. So you can easily know it. You know what I mean? You can easily go through that. And then lastly, give them your price breakdown. So you really want to try to save that until the end. So then you can say, okay, now that we know all about that stuff, let me give you, your sign-up options. So give them the price breakdown and remind them of their goals. So, break it down at the end. You can say something like, I know you said you struggle with accountability. So I really want, or I really would love to have you a part of this group and help you reach your goals by keeping you more accountable. Or I know you said you want to lose 15 pounds by your sister's wedding in August. I would love for you to be a part of this because I know we can help you reach your goals. You have to remind them of that. This is the sales part of the way you word things. This can be a part of the reason why you're hearing no, is because you don't do any research on how to help people in terms of going the extra mile. You're just here's Shakeology, here's what a group is, here's the price, do you want to buy it? You have to put in this work, you know what I mean? And it's not a lot of extra work. Once you do it repetitively over, I just copy and paste this stuff. Now I make things tailored to what they said to me, but for the most part, a lot of it's copy and paste. Okay. So most of the time you are going to hear no, and you're going to hear objections, like 90% of the time, probably more than that. This is normal, guys. This is a part of the business. And if that's hard for you to hear, then you may be in the wrong business. Now, anybody can get out of that mindset, but you have to want to. And I always tell people, okay, well, you can not like the idea of hearing the word no, but are you going to be happy going back to your corporate America job or your job that you just told me you hated and knowing that that's going to be your life for the rest of your life? So many people join and I'm not saying anybody's job is bad, but for the most part, I have lots of people that come to me and they're like, I hate my job. So it's like, okay, well, you hate your job, but you don't want to hear no in Beachbody. So what are you going to do? This is something that you can get through, but your job isn't something that's going to change. You know what I mean? So for me, it's worth it. So the key from here, from this point, because you're probably going to hear no and you're probably going to hear objections, work through the objections, but then do the whole thing that I said in the last slide. Say, can I check in with you every month to just let you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just important to once a month follow up with them. All you have to do is once a month. Because once they've already expressed interest, you don't have to do the whole comment on their Facebook, like their stuff, blah, blah, blah. They already showed interest. I mean, you can still do that, but you don't have to do it every 2 days. You can just check in with them and just follow up and just say, hey, just wanted to let you know, this is what I have going on new this month. I'd love for you to be a part of it. I know last month wasn't a good time, but I know, and I like to include something that's going on. So like, I know, festival season is coming up, like music festivals. I know that, I want to feel good when I'm on the beach. It's not about the weight. It's just about feeling healthy, blah, 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 blah. And like I said, it's asked, is it okay if I keep you in the loop for future groups whenever time's better? And the last tip I have is when you're doing all of this, do not just talk about the products, like just the products themselves. Talk about why you like them and why you use them. That is key to getting someone to say yes. Because for the most part, you are going to attract your niche market, your target market, people who are struggling with the same things that you are. Not always, but a lot of the time. So when you talk about how it helped you and how it helped them, obviously they came to you for a reason, or they said yes to more information for a reason. So you guys are at the same level at some point. So if you just say, oh, Shakeology is really great because it has superfoods in it and it's really nutritious and it's really going to help you reach your goals. Okay, that's great, but I don't really connect with that on a personal level. Somebody's not going to say that. They're just going to tell you no. But when you say, Shakeology is so amazing. There are so many superfoods in it. I personally love it because it's helped me with my PCOS. I get a normal period now. My hair is so thick. I have to clip my nails all the time. I have so much energy. I used to fall asleep at 2 p.m. every single day. I love it because I'm not a big lunch person and I love having it for lunch. And now my mom starts drinking it and she stopped smoking cigarettes because she started drinking it. Like, doesn't that sound so much better and so much more likely for somebody to be like, okay, I don't have the money for this, but I'm totally going to do it. Like, there's no way I want to say no. You want to get everybody to the point where they just want to say yes. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's really it, guys. I hope that was helpful. I was really trying to think of a way to help you guys go through these things. So many people here know, and I'm really trying to help you guys get past that point. So hopefully that was helpful. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, hi, Stacy. I didn't see you were on when I first started. Hi. But was that good? Was that helpful? Good. Was that, hopefully somebody came away with some nuggets, but, okay, awesome. Well, if you have any questions, as always, let me know. If you found this helpful when I share it in the team pages, always comment and, say what your takeaways were so other coaches can see that. You guys have no idea how much of a big effect that has. Like when you comment on something or you share a video, and it's not about like pumping me up, like I don't care. It's about coaches see me and they see me up here, but when they see you, when you guys are even though I am at the same level as you guys, I'm no special somebody, but they see me as like achieving all of these things and they see you as like just with them. They're learning just with you. So when you post, hey, this really helped me with this thing, they're like, hey, I'm struggling with that. I should do it too. So that's the reason why I want you guys to comment, because it just helps generate more people checking it out. Because so many people say they're going to watch a recording and they don't. So thank you guys. So, maybe a little random, but with Instagram going down as your ADOS formula set up, changed it all. Instagram. Oh no, Instagram. For some reason I read that as streak and I was like, wait, what? Streak is going down? I was like, I'll just quit Beachbody if that happened. No, I would use Asana or Teensy, but so yeah, my ADOS formula really isn't affected by Instagram. The only thing I've changed, not like the ADOS formula is literally the same. Nothing's really changed. The only different thing that I've changed with my own business is now going back to what I was doing when I was a brand new coach, and that's liking 250 to 500 pictures a day. Now, you can always ask your significant other. I tried to ask Pat to do it, and he did it for like a day, and he was like, I'm not doing this. This is annoying. But I know one of my coaches, Danielle, gets her fiance to do it, and he does it. So go for him. Pat does a lot of things, but liking pictures is not one of them. He does the dishes. So that's just something I've added. But the ADOS formula really, the Instagram didn't really affect any of that. So anyway, what'd you say? Power hours? No, I don't think anything's really changed with Instagram. It's just not gaining as many followers, but liking pictures is just the key to doing that. So awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for hopping on, and I will see all of you soon. Peace out, guys.